And I started telling her stories, what I knew, and then I realized that we don't really know much about my family at all. So I thought it would be a good opportunity when we came to America to get my mother and all her brothers together and get as much history of the family on tape as we can. So next time I'll have more information for her.
We want the good part or the bad part?
We want all the parts.
The true part.
And on the way here, we saw our cousin Eva, who represents the last person in France from our family. And also we met Yulia, who is from Russia, who finally left Russia and is now in Israel. And now I'll just show a family tree that Maxine did. So you can maybe pan through this. So, this is the area over here.
Wait a minute. Work what? Oh, you think this is odd?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay.
All right.
Very good.
All right. So now.
Could you introduce everybody first, Ron?
Introduce everybody. I think
we know everybody.
All right. Well, you introduce yourself first of all. Debbie just left.
Yeah.
Elisa, go ahead. Who are you?
I'm Elisa.
Oh, and you're the daughter of who?
Mildred and Edward Rosenbaum.
I think. Thank you. Debbie.
I'm Debbie.
Uh-huh. Can you tell us your name?
David.
Oh, and who's your dad?
Who's your Abba?
And who's your mother? Okay, honey, your turn.
Mother is Ima?
My name is Zoe.
Well, where's my
Father
drink?
is
Got it yet?
And my mother
Is this your drink?
Very good. Okay, who's next? Mira?
I'm a sister, and I'm Mira, and my parents are Ron and Debbie.
Okay. Auntie Mushi, could you tell us who you are?
I one more.
I'm the youngest of five. I have four older brothers, and I'm the youngest sister, and the only one. And what else should I tell you?
Well, I'm going to let you finish, but I want to get the other spinner here. Hello?
Johnny.
Okay, who's your mom and dad?
Ella.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to get introductions first, and then we'll hear the history. Who are you, young gentlemen?
I'm your father.
I'm your father to start with.
Oh, yeah?
I'm Albert I. Gordner.
What was your real name, please?
It's Yitzchak.
Yitzchak, okay.
And I'm the oldest in the family of five. I was born in Russia and came to Canada in 1927. And we're very thrilled and happy to be here in Canada for now.
Okay, we'll get back to this. Who's this young gentleman next to you?
Yeah, I guess my name is Louis Gardner. I'm changing my name to Gardner.
You mean you guys are brothers and one's Gordner and one's Gardner?
I'm the second oldest.
Uh-huh.
And, what else have I got?
When did you come to Canada? Or where are you from?
I'm from, it's the same place as your father.
Oh, I see.
And we came from the same time, the same place, the same time, the same day.
Really? Do you remember what year that was?
1927.
Oh, I see.
What was the
Okay.
original name before Gordner?
Gardner.
Gardner.
What was the original name before Gardner? I don't know. I remember.
Okay, we'll get back.
Okay.
Auntie Lillian, tell us who you are.
I am the wife of Louis.
Oh, no.
I was born in Detroit,
You can say that.
and after we got married, we moved to Windsor. So it's a commute.
You had 3 children?
I had 3 children. I had 3 daughter-in-laws. I have 4 grandchildren and another on the way.
That's wonderful. Uncle Leo, who are you?
I'm Leo Gardner, the youngest brother
What
of
was
4 brothers.
your Hebrew
And we
name?
came over at the same time in 1927.
When did your parents come over, do you know?
My father came in 1926, and my mother and the 4 boys came in 1927.
Okay.
Left her behind?
Auntie Doris?
He was born here.
I'm married to Herman, or
Oh.
Jaime,
Oh,
as people
no.
know him. And I'm the youngest sister-in-law, right? And Baruch Hashem, I had 6 children. I have 5 children right now, and many, many grandchildren.
Beautiful grandchildren. Uncle Herman?
How many?
No numbers.
Where,
No numbers.
Uncle Herman, can you tell us who you are?
We were born in Shalets, and we went by train to Moscow. From Moscow, we went to Riga, and from Riga in Latvia, we caught a boat, and we stopped at Southampton in England. And then from England, we took the boat all the way across the Atlantic, and we reached Halifax. And from Halifax, we took a train to Windsor, and from Windsor, our father met his wife and 4 little boys.
I have to disagree with you.
You have to.
Yes, I do. Because number one, we did not land in Halifax. We landed in Montreal.
No, we landed in Halifax.
Montreal.
You were in quarantine. You
We
were.
came out of Montreal though. Took a train
They
to Montreal.
landed in Halifax.
Well,
We
we
landed
went-
in
why did we
Montreal.
land-
We landed in Halifax.
We did
So we
not.
took a
Well,
train.
Dad,
You mean we took another
wait-
train from Halifax?
Wait a minute, hold it. Dad, Al Gordner, could you tell us what about your education in Russia? How old were you when you left Russia?
I was 11 years old when I left Russia.
And what was your education?
My education was all in Jewish. I learned Tanakh, Gemara, Chumash.
Gemara too?
Yeah.
You went to what Seder? Did you go to
Reading,
Can you remember which Masechta you learned?
reading and writing in Hebrew and Jewish.
You can't even read Hebrew.
And I've learned how to say the Haftorah and to daven and to pray, and we're still praying.
And how, okay, I'm gonna go back to this, but let's talk to, who do we have here? We have Adam here?
Hello.
Hello, well, where's your mom?
Right there.
Oh, I see. Maxine,
Right.
could you tell us who you are?
I'm Maxine. I'm the mother of Adam and Matthew. And,
Oh, must be Matthew, yes.
Yes. Hello.
You're a relative of Louis
yeah, daughter-in-law.
and Lillian.
What kind of actors do we have here? My God, they're pretty bad.
Bad actors. And they're from Windsor, I'm from Ottawa.
Oh, and who's this young fellow here?
Matthew.
Matthew who?
Gardner.
Oh, I see. And how are you doing here, Matthew?
Okay.
You're the grandson of Louis.
I think.
Okay.
No, actually.
Oh, okay. And who do we have here?
Ed Rosenbaum. I'm married to Mushi.
Oh, you're lucky guy. Tell us how she saved you from a life of desolation. Well, we don't have that much time. Sorry. Who's this beautiful woman, this handsome boy?
I'm the wife of the cameraman. And I'm the second to the newest member of the family, and this is the newest, and this is Mr. Andrew.
What a handsome boy. This is the product of the Russian immigrants that we're going to hear about? Oh, my goodness. Wendy, where are you from?
Minneapolis.
Oh, this is heavy on this part of the Gordner branch. Could you tell us about your family? Bye, Andrew.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's go back to, we'll all take turns hearing from the grandfathers. Auntie Mushi, your turn about your recollections of growing up.
Well, I'm the only one that was born in Canada, was in Ontario. And I remember when I was growing up that there was no room for me because my brothers, there were 3 bedrooms. And 2 of the boys slept in one room and 2 in the other, and I slept with my parents till I was quite a big girl, till I was 11 years old.
What street did you grow
On
up
Lois
on?
Avenue
Is that in Windsor?
in Windsor.
In school? What school did you
Windsor
go to?
Prince Edward School.
Uh-huh.
Then I went to Patterson Collegiate.
Uh-huh.
And I went to W.G. Lowe for a year.
What'd your
And
parents do?
My father sold fruits and vegetables, and my mother was a housewife.
All right. Now, Albert Gordner, you're the oldest of the family. You were telling us about growing up in Shalets.
That's right. We grew up in Shalets.
And what did your
We
parents
all
do?
grew up to 6'1".
And we can see that as this camera shrinks, everyone.
As we crossed the ocean and the trains, we finally got to Windsor, we shrank to 5'1".
Any recollections of Shalets?
Yeah, there's lots of recollection. We lived in a little town called Shalets.
Uh-huh.
It was a one-way street.
Yeah?
Houses on both sides. Mostly a Jewish.
It was a dirt street. Come on, the dirt. It wasn't paved.
What?
Dirt road.
Well, it wasn't paved, no. But it was it was a stone street, let's put it.
Thatched hut.
And it was a Jewish little village, with Goyim living on either end, and we were always worried about people coming in to rob us, and we had to have guards. And,
What did you have?
Could we?
what did we have to rob? Well, I'll tell you, I can remember as a kid staying in one of the houses in the outskirts watching for thieves to come in.
Well, there were probably pogroms.
She has a good question.
Yeah,
What
we
did
had
you have
people-
to rob?
I don't know,
There were
but,
pogroms.
and also,
Pogroms is something
near
new.
us, we finally found a guy and we stoned him to death. I remember that clearly.
Wow.
But I don't remember any of my friends there. I remember some of the
Could you have
Well,
older
let,
people.
let,
Yes,
let
friends.
Uncle Louis, could you tell us about your Russian playmate?
He was a good one all the
Let
time.
me tell you, as far as I remember, I think you
Tell them about your experience in my
Let me
love.
tell you what happened. Number one, I was
Number
maybe,
one,
I was maybe 10 years old. The first thing we did was has a passport that him and I were twins, so we got cheap fare.
A two for.
A 2-for-1. Okay, so I was maybe 10 years old. Number two, what happens was this: we had a house on the outskirts. The next one was a farm to us. To our house.
An orchard.
An orchard. Okay, an orchard. Anyhow, what happened?
We used to steal apples.
What happened was this: that my godfather was dealing in.
Your godfather?
Our father was dealing in horses, trading back in.
A rancher.
Right, for everyone. Anyhow, as a kid, if I remember, 9 years old, I was watching the horses at night. You understand? And that kept going. So I kept at night mostly the horses down. On the way down, finally, coming back from all this, because I had a brother which died.
How old was he when he died?
Younger brother.
I think he was
About 7. His name was Beryl, and he was between Louis and Herman.
Why did he die?
I think he had measles or
in
something.
the morning.
Well, he had measles.
Anyhow, what happened on the way down, we ran into a lot of trouble. Number one is that we lost Leo in Moscow.
You mean on the way to America?
I don't remember it being lost.
Have we ever found Leo?
Finally, at the station, I ran around the station, you had a
We lost Leo,
You remember?
and we were
remember.
running around.
I'm taking you. You're on camera now.
Okay, leave him for later. Leave him for later. Go ahead. Go to the
Okay,
next one.
okay, we'll come back to that story. Uncle Leo, do you recall anything about growing up or coming over here?
Coming over here. The only thing I can remember, my brother Herman wrecked his finger on the ship coming over.
Do you know why you came over to Canada?
Why he came
Why
over?
you come over to Canada? What the hell you want to do? Get killed over there?
I'm looking for the golden one.
These people turn on the interviewer really quickly. They don't like that question, they yell.
Our mother and father could have come over back in 15 or 16, but mother didn't want to leave Chile. She wanted to stay with her parents and all her family there. But back in 26, when things really got bad, the communists took over. She was happy when our uncle Mitchell invited us to come over. They were very happy to come, and it was the best thing they ever did for us.
But I'd like to ask a question. May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I never really quite understood. All right, they paid, I guess their uncles paid for our father to come over. Is that correct?
Well, probably.
Probably,
They
okay.
lent
So
us the
who
money.
paid for our mother and the boys?
Father, for a
He
year.
worked for a year and he saved his
Saved
money
money
and
and
he paid for it.
Absolutely.
All right, so why was Mom always thanking Uncle Mitchell for bringing us
Yeah,
over?
Well, she did bring over.
Pa
Brought over Paul.
Pa stayed at the
Without
basement,
family.
at the basement at Uncle Mitch's house, paid nothing for rent, nothing for everything.
We also had another uncle in
Louis, is that right?
Chile that we
I
left
stayed with
there
Uncle
because
Mitchell for a year.
unfortunately he had
Oh,
one
yeah,
eye.
You stayed in the
You
basement?
stayed in the basement.
Didn't know that.
Okay, Uncle Herman.
Yeah.
He stayed in the basement for 1 year,
Yeah.
and what happened, they saved every dollar he could,
Yes.
and then he brought the family over. Now, as far
Herman
as,
played. Everybody did that.
No,
All
as
the people came
far
over.
as
The men came
concerned,
over from the women.
but you were not, a hand was on the boat there, you were.
I have the finger still here. It just
So
shows
you
what I
were there.
I was running with the folding chair. I didn't know how to do it. He had
That's right, you had a fully, so you had a little extra.
I still have my finger here.
So Uncle Herman,
On top of that, let me tell you what happened. Let me
They
finish.
put you in quarantine too, they wouldn't let you in.
On top of that,
Are you
my
putting all
mother
this in?
went to Southampton,
She got lost.
London up here in Ontario, London, England, and somebody tried to pick her up, you understand?
Yeah,
That's about it.
Yes, but she didn't, somebody picked her up. I
She
don't know
said,
what reason.
please, she said, I got 4 kids.
okay, wait a second. We're going on to Uncle Leo. Any recollections of
No
coming
recollections.
over,
I was too young.
growing up?
Growing up,
Yeah.
when I was growing up in Windsor,
Sure.
as a young boy, I went out and sold newspapers. All the
They
way
took over
through
my route.
public school. So over public school, Prince Edward, Patterson Collegiate High School.
How old were you when you came over?
I was 4 when I came over.
Well, we'd like a detailed recollection of the first 4 years.
I can't remember.
You were in Assumption Street School for a while.
No, he wasn't.
I don't know.
No, him and I
He
were
was with me.
Anyway, we went to the University of Toronto, became my farmer.
Absolutely.
A rich pharmacist.
A rich pharmacist.
Okay.
And I have 3 children,
And how many grandchildren?
4 grandchildren.
Okay.
4 grandchildren.
Uncle Herman.
Slow.
You
Tell us
gotta
about-
realize that we lived in the shtetl, and the shtetl was the poorest place you could possibly be.
Is this in Russia you're talking
In
about?
Russia, yeah.
What part of Russia?
There was no indoor plumbing. We always had to go outside. Pigs used to come up and clean up the backyard. There was no water inside.
We had a farm in the back of the house.
There was a well. We had to get the water from the well. There's one stream running through it. In the back, we had potatoes. We grew potatoes.
Then we knew it, we had a cow.
There's a stream in the back there.
That's right, there was a stream back there. We had bathing suits.
Yeah, it was just a big.
Well, Uncle Herman, tell us about Shabbos in Russia. Friday night, you remember?
He doesn't, because
You
we
gotta
went,
ask my older brother.
Okay.
what happened was this, when we went to,
couldn't live any
when we
poorer
went
than we
to, school in Russia was strictly in
A cheder.
A cheder.
A
What we
cheder.
did, we learned how to daven, we learned how to, like he
We
said,
had
we had,
You know more about that. I remember going and
we
learning
had
alphabet.
there was a
When I
synagogue in
came
the
over, I
town.
used to know the
In the
Shema
middle of the
Baruch.
town, and we used to go to daven twice a day, and I'm sure we were there every Shabbos, although I don't recall very much. But we played baseball
Kick the can.
in the middle of the street.
Kick the
And
can.
we played a little different than we play here, but we played games, and we really enjoyed ourselves. But we were lucky to get the hell out of
So,
there.
Uncle Herman, what are your recollections of Russia?
The trees, the maple syrup trees, used to go out in the woods and then drink the sap from the maple trees.
Let me tell you,
You don't remember that?
How would you remember
let me
that?
tell you what happened to me.
Oh, that's
Is this what you want, right?
I had problems. I had problems. Number one, it was 10 kilometers from Shilets to Molev.
Molev, right.
Okay, Molev. First thing I had was
Lice.
lice. I had lice.
Shaved off his whole head.
Ringworm, you said.
No, ringworm.
We always had lice.
Yes, I had ringworm. I had to go to Moscow 10 kilometers every
To
day.
Molev, not Moscow.
Okay, Molev, right. Then I had something else.
You had your problem with your legs.
I had something else down there that I had to stay in Molev with my father's cousin,
Your aunt.
my aunt.
Your aunt.
My aunt down there.
Mama
Stayed there
Leah.
for a long time.
Mama
But
Leah.
I used to go every day I used to go 10 kilometers. Walk, I was 7 years old.
You used to walk it?
Yeah, walk it.
You didn't even go on a horse.
Why,
You
why
had
they
a
go?
horse. He rode on a horse.
Some of these?
You used to walk every
Walk, I
day.
had a mule.
You used to come back at night.
Used to come back.
What
you
kind
want?
of treatment were they giving you?
I'm just
They
taking
were
this.
giving me what they happened on the head would treat me with
What happened? What?
with something. I don't know what the hell it was. They were using something with it.
We had grandparents on my mother's side.
I'm just leaving it on record. You'll see record in there. Just look, it's going.
Moishe was his
No,
name.
You see that?
Moishe was
When you
his
want to
name.
stop, push the red button.
Her name was Nessie.
Right.
I want to give one of me
He
and
was an
Andrew.
old man with a white beard.
No, he was.
Hey, you guys, wait a minute. We got another question for you. No, we want to know what happened to your village after World War II, or what happened to the village as time went on.
There's no more village.
No, that's not true. We had a guest from Russia about 3 years ago. His name was Chaim. And he said he went to Shalets about 10 years ago. And the village was still there, but they were all Gentiles that live there now. And all the houses were intact. I suppose that they have indoor plumbing now. Now, when we were in Russia in '87, we tried to go to Shaletz, and they couldn't find it on the map. So we went to Mogilev, and we waited in line to have an ice cream. And I told my brother Al the story, and he says he remembers when he was a little boy being in Mogilev, waiting in line to have an ice cream.
That's right. When we went to Mogilev, we always had an ice cream.
And we waited in line.
It was in Moscow we had that ice cream.
Oh, we went to Moscow. When were we in Moscow?
We went to Moscow to get the train to go to Riga.
Yeah, yeah, but then we would stay there long.
We stayed there a little while to get an ice cream.
Come on.
So Shaletz is still there, but...
Okay, Shaletz is still there, and we hope at some future date, maybe
It'll disappear.
2010, we'll
all get together
in Shaletz.
I'll tell you one thing, our father, he
Was that through Marine?
I don't remember him in Russia at all. I remember him being home at all.
You don't remember him
He
in
was
Russia?
a horse
remember him
trader.
at all.
No, I do. I remember he was a horse
I
trader.
do. I don't remember seeing him at all.
Is that who you took after?
Yeah. But he was a horse trader. He traded horses.
He traded cattle.
Yeah,
too.
he got a farmer.
Traded cattle.
He got a farmer and traded the horses to get some rules or whatever it was down there. And I know, I remember to this day, staying up all night with the horse. See that the horse eats and didn't run away.
Terrific. I don't remember that.
Let me describe our house. Let me describe our house in Shaletz.
Okay.
It was one big room with a couple of curtains for mom and pop.
And there were steps going up.
And we had one great big oven and a little oven beside it. We slept on the oven.
Oh,
We cooked on the oven. We slept on the oven.
Wood oven, by the way.
We had an oven in Shaletz.
Wood. Burning wood.
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 It's a big oven, and we slept on the oven, and there's a little oven, we slept on that, and I don't know, we managed somewhere or other, and if we got up in the middle of the night, and it was cold in the wintertime, we still had to go outside to do our
Business.
ablutions.
Yes.
So sometimes we came back
Yes, we
frozen.
did have an oven. We absolutely did
Yeah,
have an oven.
but I don't know, somehow or other we managed. Today we could never manage like we did in those days.
Well, why'd you have two ovens?
We had two, well, we had one little oven and a big oven. We slept on the big oven, the little oven we also slept on it. We cooked on the oven, it heated the place. We used wood, of course, no
But you
coal.
must understand that our mother,
Managed to keep us all going, feed us.
But you know what's so interesting? She was
Yeah,
always so
black bread
amazed.
and
When
herring.
they came to Windsor, they had a nice house, they had a washing machine, they had a stove, they had a refrigerator later on, and she was always amazed. There was such a difference between her life in Windsor, no matter how difficult it was, between that and her life in Russia. And she always used to say, she always used to say, thank God. She always just thanked her brother-in-law, Lokaimecha, that he brought them all over because their life in Windsor
But
was
you
so
remember-
much better.
Well,
But
we wouldn't
remember-
have been here today. if we
yeah,
were
but
still in-
remember
still
one
in
thing,
Russia.
the boss struggled pretty good.
Boss
It wouldn't be for him and me. He wouldn't have made it, never.
Come on.
We gave him $3. We gave him $3 a week.
We all helped out. We all helped
Our
out.
father sold fruits and vegetables. He had a summer wagon and a winter wagon. And they all helped.
Remember when you were
Spring
buying a hundred dollars?
I turn over my round down here.
And everybody helped our parents pay for the house.
That's
We were
right.
plenty
Well,
poor.
now wait a minute, just a minute.
Well, we managed, and Pop finally got a job at the
Hang on, you're not telling the truth. Here's what
We're
happened.
always
I'll
telling you.
tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened.
What
What happened is we bought the house for $5,000.
6,000.
8,000.
6,000.
8,000.
6. It was
Don't tell me I was
That wasn't 8,000. No, you're wrong. Anyhow, what happened?
5,000.
We couldn't pay $50 a month rent. We couldn't pay it down there. So what happened? Well, I went to Mr. Jaffe, who was a lawyer, and told Mr. Campbell that he cannot pay $50 a month. He's willing to give it back the house. He bought the house.
When was this?
This was, maybe.
We only bought it in 32.
Well, maybe 33.
No, we bought it in 29.
Whatever,
That's right.
whatever.
Right, 29.
Hey, I remember the
32
day.
from.
I remember the day.
29.
But anyhow, what?
Okay, go ahead. Where were you
What are we
guys?
talking, which guy got killed? What are you talking about?
Well, it's a stranger.
This is a total stranger. It wasn't a family deal. Our grandfather, if I remember correctly,
This was in Windsor?
was this was our grandfather was in Russia. He died when he had a heart attack.
When father was 16 years of age.
Pardon?
When our father was 16 years of age.
No, he's talking about Ma's parents.
Oh, my parents, my parents. That's
Boy, parents meant to be old. What are you talking about?
my father.
And then go to my dad, and then go to my Uncle Herman, and then go to my Uncle Leo.
He died.
And don't let him keep
He
rambling.
was died when he was 12 years old. No,
What
no,
are you
no,
talking
no,
about?
no. Just when my father was 12 years old.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about? You're my
about?
grandmother. On your father's side. My father's side, right. Was 12. I was 12, and he brought up 3, he brought up Mitchell.
Well, there were 5 boys.
Uncle Mitchell, Uncle Laser, Uncle
Get a lot of your mom.
and Uncle Elliot. There's another one left in Russia. Anyhow, we couldn't bring the guy in from Russia because he had one eye. You understand? So we couldn't bring him in, so he was left. He was left in Russia. Mostly all his family was right now dead or whatever it is. Anyhow, our grandfather married a woman, you understand, from Bordeaux. She was a woman, what they call a woman. You understand? And they lived together. Now, our grandfather did was learn all the time. You understand what I mean?
What, from your
He was learning women, all the time. He was a learning man.
Oh, from our mother's side.
No, he's saying our father's
father's
side.
side.
What did our mother's father do?
Father's side. When he was about, I would say maybe about, maybe 48 or something like that, or even down.
He was Gordner.
Gardner. He died at a heart attack across the street where we lived.
Oh, stop it.
Yes.
But we left him still living. Come on.
No, you always
Come
said
on.
our father's father was not living.
He was not living.
He
He died when he was not living. I remember he died early. He died of a heart attack.
Yeah, died early. Not only that, our father's mother died early.
We were still in Russia. Yeah, he was still in Russia.
Our father's father got married 3 times.
3 times.
Oh, 3 times?
Is that only twice?
No, our father's father got married 3 times, and he died at the age of 50.
What
Yeah,
happened,
but I thought we left.
Why did he
Yes.
get married?
that's our father's side. Now, as you know, our father's side, the father died, our father's side, our grandfather died, and the woman, she
Who was she? Who was
The
the...
woman was a
What
second
family was
family.
her from?
They're from the Gardners.
Ah, she was in the Redskin.
Nah, come on, a Redskin. She was
Our grandfather married a
grandfather's
Redskin.
woman. Come on, what are you talking about? She's a Redskin.
How could our grandmother marry your grandfather?
We come from the Redskins.
Our father's grandfather.
Which wife? He had 3 wives.
No.
We're not put out. We're not
Well,
put
he's on the
out.
first wife.
The wife, first wife died when my father was 12 years old.
So all the kids were already born.
Yeah, there were
There's
no
more
other
children.
children.
No.
Anyhow, what happened, that's our...
We didn't have any girls. Why didn't they have any girls? They were all boys.
What are you talking
And our mother's
boys.
parents,
Our mother's
the
parents...
mother lived to be 83.
Okay, well, let me put it this way. My mother had
Died just before the World War, Second World War.
13 brothers and sisters, 2 boys and 11 girls.
That's right. Very right. True.
13 girls. Now, what happened? One was in France, one moved to France.
Four died before they were. Well, they were.
What happened to the other? We brought over one fellow was this Uncle Chivas.
I'm sure
We brought him over from Russia. We brought him over here into Canada. My mother did all that.
Well, he's more interested in our own immediate family.
right.
Not interested in-
Right.
Well, he was an immediate family. He was an uncle.
Okay, so ask some questions now.
Okay, what
Now
kind of
we're
question?
in, now we're back into Canada.
Well,
And
we
we were very poor, but we lived in a nice house in a nice neighborhood.
we'd like to know about other relatives that we don't know about, maybe. Like we met Yulia in Russia. How is he related?
You met
Yuli's grandmother was a sister to our mother, and she was left in Bogota. Eva's grandmother came to Lyon, France about 89 years ago. So her grandmother was a sister to our mother. So Yuli's grandmother, Eva's grandmother, and our mother were three sisters.
What happened to the other?
And Yuli and Eva are the same relation to us.
Here, Ed, I'll have
They
a
are
little more.
to each other.
A little more scotch.
Okay, and
Anything
then there were two brothers. One brother we brought over, and the other one is left to Chilettes and probably Paris somewhere. Yeah.
Are there any more relatives that I don't know about?
There was a relative on our father's side. Remember?
Yeah, but that is
We don't know
still-
where he is.
is.
No, but there was somebody was married to somebody.
Well, no, that was the
last
cousin.
time.
It was that his son was married to somebody that
From
we.
the back family.
Yeah, right.
But we don't know.
We don't know what happened there.
We don't have any
Okay,
idea who
coming
they
to
are.
Canada, we were all young kids when we came here. We all went to school, we all went to college, and we have pharmacists, and we have teachers, and we have, what else we got?
Pharmacists and teachers.
Pharmacists and teachers.
And millionaires.
And we have one man that finished college, didn't finish college, but he did pretty well selling cars, I guess. And all of us had wonderful businessmen. All of us had wonderful children, and we're very proud of them.
Well, our parents had 20 grandchildren, and so far, they have 38 great-grandchildren.
Well, you guys are skipping over 60 years now.
Our family is growing, and we should be.
Our family is very close.
And we have our sisters to thank for it, because if it wasn't for our sisters, we'd all be fighting like crazy.
Here.
Come on.
And we
You don't have to.
our sister is the leader of our game.
That's right.
Like, how about answering questions
And
about when it came
if we
to,
have a card game, and
answering questions about when it came
And
to
her
Canada?
her son
That
says
was not, we all
come,
know.
we come.
You want me to do the
We
camera?
break up our
Can you do the
game.
que-
Years old, you know nothing.
I'm sorry, Michael, I can't remember a thing.
He spoke only Russian. He only spoke Russian.
Uncle Leo works for the CIA.
Oh, he
I don't
remember.
remember. Michael,
We remember when
years
you
of
departed
age.
from the
And
train.
I don't remember anything.
Tell us about your first recollections of your older brothers.
Oh,
We had the worst.
Uncle Herman, tell us about your older brothers and
We
your
all
sister.
slept, all four of us, in one little bed when we came over here.
That's right, at one time, because the main
Yeah,
room
and
was
it wasn't really big. We had plenty of room to sleep.
Come on, we have plenty.
Herman always slept on the floor.
We had two beds, two of us slept in one bed, two in the other bed.
Nah, but when we first came over on Marintet,
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we slept all, we had one bed, all four of us slept in one bed.
I'm married to that, we slept all in one
All
bed.
one bed, but we're little ones, there's plenty of room for us. From the paper, we
What did you want me to try to get out of these
stayed
guys?
there for a couple of years. What did you do?
Information?
No,
He listened to me. I thought you were on board.
Cooper stayed with
But now you
me.
are married to
Well,
him.
that's what I meant. You couldn't really do it if you get them all together. But you gotta be practical. I mean, we never get... It's even better this way.
That was
That's what I'm saying. He lived on Maritech for a couple of years, and from Maritech, they moved to Lewis Avenue.
And
We live in a house where we
They
live.
lived in a house. I didn't
Auntie Mushi, can you tell us your recollections of growing up?
Yes, I spoke Yiddish before I spoke English.
Really?
Yes. My mother and dad always called me Mushela. And I
Okay,
remember,
hold everything. Telephone.
I didn't have any Jewish playmates on the streets, and I remember saying to my mother and dad when you yell for me to come home for supper, don't call me Angela, call me Mildred.
Is that what you go?
Yeah, because they were all annoying, because they were Jewish
Wow,
on the
you had a
street.
lot of Jewish people on the street.
No, I didn't. I had this little Annie, a little German girl, and I used to yell, Mushela, come in
We
for
didn't know what
supper.
you meant. Well, when you're like,
Yeah, I just said, please call me Mildred.
Yeah, but you told her.
And then I remember, next door to me was Normie Orderworth. He's 3 years younger than me. Now he's called me Mushi. And when he went to public schools in Prince Edward, like I did, he said, "Oh, Mushi." You know, I was kind of embarrassed because all the kids at school called me Mildred. So I said, "Normie, call me Mildred."
Do you have any special recollections of daily life in the Gordner household? Special
Well,
recollections?
you know, when I was growing up, Louie and Al were away a lot, and Herman and Leo were home a little longer. And Herman used to help me with my geometry, I remember that. He bought me a big dictionary, which is right behind you, so that I would be smart in school.
Wow.
Take a quick swing on that
No,
dictionary.
they're there.
Whoa, that is a big
I'm about
dictionary.
48 years old. He bought it for me. I guess
He
he's
did.
44.
Where did he get that money? He must have stolen it. I don't think he bought
At
it.
this video, this is a phony dictionary. It's a piece of cardboard, but
What is that?
Wait, I want to
Oh,
tell you
yeah.
the kids already, but I think it's a fascinating story. She was illiterate, didn't know how to read and write English or Hebrew.
what was her name?
Wait, you know, right, Yiddish.
Just
No.
a minute, I'm going to tell you what she did. Her
What
name
was
was
her name?
America, which was, her
America,
Hebrew name
right.
was Miriam.
Where was she born?
She was born in Shillette, I
Gillette,
assume.
absolutely.
And when she was growing up,
And her parents?
and I don't know, they were
Her
born
parents
in
were born in
Shillette
Shillette.
too.
Did you know them?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I yes, I did.
Our grandparents,
know?
no,
Oh,
you.
yeah,
Did
he
you
was
know?
in the middle of the night with his bare feet over to his...
Dad, did you know your mother's parents, your grandparents?
I knew my
Moshi
mother's,
didn't
I
know.
didn't, but you
my,
did.
my
We
mother's,
know, but we
my
didn't
mother's
know.
parents I knew.
And your father's parents, did you guys know?
Ah, they were gone.
Okay, Auntie Mushy, continue.
Okay, so when our mother was about 20 years old, she went to work in a laundry. She was an ironer. And she knew that she wanted to know how to read and write Hebrew and Yiddish. And she made, I don't know if it was $6 a week or $6 a month, I don't know which it was. She took half her salary, she got herself a malamed, a tutor, who taught her how to read and write Yiddish and read and write Hebrew. So she would know how to daven. And then when her husband wrote her letters from America, she could read the Yiddish letters herself and write him back answers and didn't have to pay anybody to read her personal letters. So she was very gung-ho on education. And I thought that showed a remarkable, I thought that showed a remarkable woman, because I don't think too many people
But
do
you
that.
taught her how to speak
For
English.
her,
No, how to read a little bit of
Yeah.
English.
for
But she
her,
knew how
for
to
her day, she was a woman's liver.
Absolutely, she knew
When-
how to, I mean, just take half her salary? I think that was
Becky
terrific.
Gillette, wasn't it?
Yes, in Chile.
When
Well,
you
also
were
she played bridge with her sons. She played auction bridge.
Absolutely.
when you
Well,
were
how many
in
immigrant women did that?
Well, we taught her how to play bridge.
Okay, but
No,
I-
she taught us how to play bridge.
But that was terrific that she played
Of
bridge.
course it was. We played bridge,
A
we
lot
played
of people.
poker.
what did your father do in Windsor to earn a living?
In our house, my mother and
Our father,
He was down this town, yeah, he was
he was
dealing
in the
with,
fruit business. We always said he was in the fruit business.
where, you mean in Windsor here?
Yeah.
The first year he
How long
had
was
an
he in the
ice
fruit
cream.
play? What was he already like? When did he become a shaman?
When I was 15 years old.
Wait a minute, not a shaman, a sexton.
Louis taught.
When did he, was after the war he became a shaman, wasn't he?
He should become a shaman about 15 or 20 years after.
When I was 15 years old, he became a shaman. I
Okay, 15
remember
years
you
old.
Well, now we have, you were born in 32, so he
And
had
that
an
was the
idea.
best time of his
At
life.
47, then he became a
That's
shaman.
right.
Because he
That's
did
All right, so right
realize,
after the war he
and he
became a
made
shaman.
$25 a week.
No, I didn't 20.
Did you have a horse and wagon at the house?
Yes.
At the house, yes.
And what was the name of the horse?
Fared.
Fared. And what does fared mean?
Means horse.
Oh, good thinking.
And I said to the boy, I said, he was getting, I think he was getting $20.
They called them the fair.
For dumb, he was
And I'd like to
playing,
tell you,
davening,
every
just
Shabbat-
after the shul and everything else. I said, I will pay him $25 if you quit the job. I will pay him $25 a week. I was in business already.
I knew that
You know,
story,
I would
so
pay
I
him
thought I'd throw
$25
it
a
in.
week. And
I always got a
He
kick
was
out of it. I said,
fiercely
Dad, what's the
independent.
name of your horse?
Huh?
It says fared. What's fared? What's fared mean? It says horse.
I told him, he said,
he
no, that's
was-
right.
he was-
I just wanted to take the money.
Okay, I'm ignoring this group for a minute
The years go
because
on.
I'm trying to give everybody a fair share. Uncle Herman,
Tell him how you used to make me get apples every Shabbos afternoon. I was
it's your
scared that
turn.
fair.
Why, you didn't have to go, he was in his own stall.
I know, but I was scared he was going to bite me. I had to bend over to get the
Why
apples
did I
from the
send you to
window.
get apples in the
Because
stall?
I was
Stole
thinking,
the apples from the
yeah, every Shabbos he used to make me go get apples from the
Yeah,
wagon.
maybe
And-
once.
No, I had to bend over and the horse was over there. I was scared to death of him, but I did it. I did whatever he told me to do.
You, is that right?
Is this helping you guys for your
Why
project?
wouldn't I go pick
I don't
my
think
own
so.
apples?
Is this good for your project?
If you
Nah, I
remember
did
the
it
horse,
once, you don't
if you remember the horse ran away, you remember that? The horse ran away.
Well,
He wanted to go to the glue factory.
I think he could.
This is the kinder of all these grandfathers talking about this.
Get a good book where somebody else has written something and copy it.
But I remember Uncle Herman. I remember my mom told me you took her to get a haircut one time.
No,
He did very well indeed.
hair hasn't changed since.
I still have the picture.
Well, what happened?
My mother told him to give me, a short haircut, like she's wearing it, only short.
Yeah.
So he tells the barber to give me a boy's bob, like this. So the barber turns me away from the mirror, and I don't know what he's doing. And then he turns me around after he's all done. He's proud of his work, and I started to cry.
That was a great haircut.
It was a boy's haircut.
Well, so you could have been a boy.
So I walk home with my brother because it was a block away from the house.
Your oldest brother.
And did my mother yell at him? She says, I sent you to take her to get a haircut, and what did you do? So I've got a picture of me with a boy's haircut and a big bow across the top of my hair.
Remember one thing. I remember we only had one
I
chicken.
can't remember yelling at you.
For the all of
That was plenty.
Yeah,
We had a lot of chicken soup.
One chicken.
We had chicken soup.
But I want you to understand.
We had bread. Did you ever taste bread like that again?
Hang on.
She used to make very, very good
Who
salad.
used to go and to the chicken to kill?
I did. I went there.
Come on, you were the You did nothing. You went around. Never saw no paper. Never done nothing. You were the worst one of them.
I took the bicycle with the chicken and
You treat your mother to go and to kill the chicken and to fling the chicken.
I did it.
Ah, come on. You did it.
I remember he went once.
Once. I am to do it.
He went to Scott and it took him 3 hours to get back because he walked.
I rode the bicycle.
Okay.
Can we carry a live chicken to the shortcut?
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, you will put him in a basket.
Okay, but he was
You put him in a
alive.
basket.
Yeah.
I remember walking with my mother with a live chicken, and I saw the shortcut slit his throat and hang him down. And then if my mother felt flush, she paid 10 cents for somebody else for the machine to.
No machine.
Somebody else to flick. Now once in a while, she had somebody else.
I was there most of the time. I had the car, so I was most of the
I want to
time.
tell you, like the
You were gone already. You were gone. Who was the
All I can remember, we had one chicken for Friday night and Shabbos.
That's right.
There was 5. There was 7
We were
people.
healthy, weren't we?
We had
A big chicken.
soup. We had soup. We had meat Friday
You
night.
forgot the fish.
Shabbos
You
night.
forgot the fish. You forgot
We
the
had
fish.
fish, no, but I'm talking about the
Fish
fish.
was
Today,
tasty. No one
when we have 3 people over, three family and us, we have to have 3 chickens for one meal. Thursdays, we had 1 chicken for 2 meals for 7 people. How she managed, I don't know, but she must have put some drugs in her. And did the bacon. We had a lot of sardines.
Yeah, but don't wait. We had also had rice and milk.
For lunch every day for sure.
Yeah, rice and milk.
We had spinach and cream.
What? Yeah, you had strawberries and cream, and you had raspberries and strawberries. The last time you had some raspberries,
I don't know if you're getting the history, but you're getting a lot of talk. And these guys never talked to much their whole life.
Our oldest brother got married in England, and I remember I was 14 years old, and we were all sad because the night he was getting married in England, we thought, gee, none of us were there except Uncle Leo was there. And
Why was Uncle Leo there?
because he was in England during the
Why
war.
was he there?
He was in the airport.
He was in the Air Force and he helped to win the war, I want to tell you. Because he prepared the planes,
So did
and
Uncle
every
Al.
plane that he prepared to fly came back.
Well, that's good.
Which is very good, and we're very proud of him. And I think he's going to get a medal eventually.
Uncle Leo.
I saved a lot of lives during the war.
How?
We dispensed a lot of medication. I was a pharmacist already in the war.
Where were you billeted, Dad?
I was billeted in Aldershot most of the time. Well, then we were billeted in London, England. After I got married, I was billeted in London, England.
Oh, tough job.
I didn't want to go, and I was billeted in my wife's house.
Oh, God, those brutes.
I didn't want to stay too far away from her. But actually, we had to make up a lot of medication, and we sent them out to first aid stations all over England and France. So we were kind of busy. We were in a group of maybe about 30 people. But our CO was a man, and also a pharmacist from Hamilton. I think his name is Lakeman. And he left to go away on the weekend, and we had some absolute alcohol, which is pure alcohol. And we always gave him a gallon to go away with. And he always came back a little bit tipsy. But then after we came back, we met him in he had a drugstore in Hamilton. His wife was caring for him, but he couldn't manage. After he got into Mufti, he went to the racetrack. He lost his money, and he finally passed away because he wanted to stay in the army.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a good time
What we want to know from everybody is a special memory before you were 12 years old. Everybody who's going to start on this side.
Well, let me start here.
Okay.
When we were 12 years old, we were 11 years old.
You're a very practical guy, Dad. Could you tell us one special memory before, or tell us about your bar mitzvah?
Bar mitzvah was there, yeah, right here with Taco Bell. Right here. Our bar mitzvah.
You had your bar mitzvah at Taco Bell?
No, we had our bar mitzvah at top of Malik's. You know where Malik's? Yeah, we were
Well,
down
what
there.
was the store before Malik's came in there?
Well, we
What was
stopped
it?
at Arena for time. We used to
Yeah, I know, up on top there, yeah.
and we davened at Mercer Street show,
Yeah.
And I had one present that was $5. I got it from Mr.
Wait a minute, Uncle Herman, where are you going?
Yeah, well, I got a pen.
And I said to Haftorah, and I think we had maybe some wine and cake afterwards.
No, we brought to the house that time.
Brought to the house.
Yeah. And I did the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Over here,
So-
we did.
What, you had a bar mitzvah too?
Yeah, I had a bar
Yeah, we
mitzvah,
both had bar
yes.
mitzvahs. So we were 13 then.
I was
So how long have you two known each other?
Well, we know Dad knows Louie longer than Louie knows Dad.
I looked after my brother Louis since he was 1 year old. Before that, his mother looked after him.
Excuse me, Dad. I have something very important for you to chance. Now that you told us your background, tell us about the future, and has there ever been a more
Look
shame?
at that, he's smiling. We're very proud of our kids. Oh, look at that, he is smiling.
This boy's name is Avraham Chen.
All our kids are beautiful, smart, and hopefully they'll all be
They got good
doctors
genes.
or something.
Can you see? Yeah, they're Oshkosh. Can you see the resemblance between this Punim and this Punim?
Absolutely. They all say that all my grandchildren look like their grandfather.
Yeah.
I don't
Now, Auntie Mushi.
Okay,
Is
I
he on
never
record?
had a bicycle, and I was ashamed that I didn't know how to ride a bike. And I came home from school one day on a Friday, and there was a brand new bicycle in the hallway of my house. Uncle Leo sold his bicycle and bought me a new one. That was just before he went into the Air Force. And I was so thrilled, but I had to learn how to ride the bicycle. So Uncle Herman tried to help me, and lots of times I fell. And down at the end of the street, there was a little girl who was not Jewish, who was much younger than me, that knew how to ride a bike. And I was ashamed to go past her house because I didn't know how. But when I finally got to ride that bike, I went by her house so she could see that I could ride too.
Well, no wonder your brother Leo's your favorite brother.
All my favorites.
Well, let me tell you about Herman, though.
Each one is her
That's right.
Tell me about Herman. Herman, you know, I was,
Herman.
I had the car.
Uh-oh.
I had the car all the time. And I was especially,
Oh, and I ruined this car for him.
and especially that I had a day like
They went away fishing in the
like
morning, never
Sunday,
came back.
you
Come
know?
Come back.
And
Took away
I
his
said
car.
to him, I said, okay, you can have the car, but be back about 7 o'clock.
And I was back when?
It was at 12, 11 o'clock.
And it was right.
And I was so mad. I could have turned around here, and in fact, the one time down there, him and I in the back were going to fight.
Loan him
You
a
know
gun.
that?
Loan him a gun.
You know, we're going to fight, honestly. We got the bed in the
better
back.
didn't have a gun in the house.
You haven't told him the time you
Yeah.
beat me up real badly.
Anyhow, it's all worked out, so.
Sneak in for me and Andrew for posterity. Okay, go ahead, go back and get the
Third
story.
generation.
Okay. How about Uncle Leo? How about your bar mitzvah?
My bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
I had a double bar mitzvah. I was with somebody else.
Uh-huh.
And I had a party on Sunday with my boyfriends
Where was the party?
at the house.
Uh-huh.
And that was it. I really don't remember what kind of presents I got or what I didn't think. It was very small time compared to today's bar mitzvahs.
Uh-huh. And what do you remember about your father's job?
What do I remember my father's job?
Yeah.
Father's business.
My father's business. The happiest time of his life when he became a shamus and shul.
We use the word sexton instead of shamus.
Why? Why? What's wrong with
He was a Balkara.
Balkara.
And he did a very good job. And he enjoyed it tremendously.
And a blue chauffeur, but he's having a little problem sometimes.
Sometimes he had problems.
Still blue
chauffeur. Very educated man as far as the synagogue.
Very learned.
He could read the Torah, which was very, very,
I think he knew a little Gemara.
Yeah, he did.
Around his family, he had 4 brothers in his family.
He was the
the
most
only religious
educated.
one. The other 3 brothers were
And the
not
most
religious.
learned one.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
And he was the oldest. Of his 4 brothers that were here, he was
given the opportunity to learn in the yeshiva.
All the other brothers are in Canada?
He was 16.
The other brothers which?
They're in Canada?
Yeah, they were all in Windsor, but they were all in Windsor.
They all died in winter anyhow. The 3 of
You
them.
know, one came over, brought the rest of the family. So
What happened was the only one that really did very
Who's going to
good.
write this essay anyway?
Uncle
We
Mitch.
never find anything really.
He brought over Uncle Mesha in 1921, and he brought over Uncle Laser and Uncle.
Didn't he bring up the laser first?
No, he brought Uncle Mesha first.
because he was only 17. He was the youngest.
No, no.
And then Uncle Laser, then our father. That was.
Okay, let's hear something from you, from what you got.
What the hell are you doing?
Wait, we didn't hear Uncle Herman's bar mitzvah yet.
He missed his
Yeah, I
think we didn't have
received
it.
the best gift of all. I got a fountain pen from my aunt, and that was my entire bucket.
Which end?
Be a kid.
You got a
I
fountain
got a
pen?
fountain pen from my aunt, and that was the best present of. But that's my entire my entire bar mitzvah.
Bar
And,
mitzvahs have changed.
my father told me, okay, you can have them out there tomorrow. So,
Well, could take them up there.
there was no trouble. I mean, I made a few mistakes, but it's okay. I looked it over. I looked it over the day before.
Yeah,
You mean you didn't know months before that you were going to have a bar mitzvah?
No, he told me then. I was in the hospital at the time. I had appendicitis, so I should have had it a lot earlier.
Yeah,
but
it was a life and death
it
for
was
him.
postponed until I got a little better. That was
Oh, I see.
so so he told me,
Did you have it
okay.
at the Shar Shemaim?
Yeah, Shar. By that time, why did we go to? Why would we go? We went to the Shar Shemaim before he went to Shar Tzedek on Mercer Street School. Sure.
Well, don't forget, no.
We were there. I was 13 years old. We were at the Shar Shemaim. We used to daven there all the time. Before he became a family, he was still a food peddler. You don't remember?
I know you did, but we didn't get there maybe until the 30s because I know my bar mitzvah was on top of Malik.
He
I
went
remember
back.
down in
He
Young
went
at the
back
arena.
to. He used to daven the Shar Tzedek afterwards.
Oh, he went to East Windsor Shul. He down in Yom Kippur.
That's only Yom Tov because I used to walk with him.
We did too. We all
I remember walking.
You never walked.
I remember
No,
walking
you
there.
guys davened at Shar Shemaim, and I walked with him.
Hey,
You kids, we were all at the,
You know, it's
Yeah, remember a thing this guy.
we were all at the St. Shul in East Windsor. Come on, we all walked there.
You never were in East Windsor.
Yes,
What are you
you were.
talking about? You don't have any memory of that.
Why would we go to Shar Shemaim if Dad went to the little shul?
Yeah, he was there. He was the chazan. He was the
Yeah, I know. That's why we went there because I was going to have to pay. We didn't pay anything.
And also, he got paid also for down
Yeah, I know. I don't know how much he got.
That was Lee Swindler. You don't remember nothing.
Getting too old. You gotta remember a thing.
Yeah, we definitely all walked to the French shul. I remember walking.
You never walked.
We did
Never.
the shul. Yeah, you down there. And he used to cry when he said, you know,
He's here.
Al-Khair. It's not Al-Khair. What's the other one?
Hidden.
No, that's Musa. Mr. Zalem used to daven. He only used to daven Shabbos. He never used to daven Muslim.
No, he never davened Muslim. He davened Shabbos. You're right.
Yeah, Zalem always davened Muslim.
Where?
In East Windsor.
Nah, he davened one year. He davened there Muslim.
Same as that.
You got paid to dumb. Come on, get out. Get out.
What's that, what is this, with Vaseline every other word? What is that? Vaseline? Dean?
Not out.
There's a big, you know, there's.
It's on the token.
It doesn't open.
Anyway, all his prayers when he got to be.
Oh, you're talking about Yom Din, all right.
Yom Din, okay. He used to cry all the time.
But you know, you were the worst salesman there was. You know what I mean? When you used to.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I was the worst salesman.
You and I used to go out during the holidays. We used to go and sell fruit, one side to the other side.
Right.
You were the world's worst.
I was the world's worst salesman.
I was the best.
Right. Absolutely right.
I told
The only thing I ever was
Not only
interested
you
in
were the worst, you even lost money in giving change.
And listen, let me tell you something. It's worked out very good for all of us. We're the nicest family. Our cousins are in the dire trouble. All the time.
Did you about Taco Bell?
No.
Not Taco Bell.
Not
You about Taco Bell?
Jacqueline broke.
The guy you ordered, you know,
Oh, yeah, I got that.
you give
What happened to the store?
He ran it store.
The store doesn't belong to him anymore.
Yes, he does. He owns a building.
The building, that's all.
Well, you wanna
He
get
still
more up
owns
to
the building.
date?
That's all.
No, I think he's got it now.
No, wait a minute, let's get just a little more up to date. Our first our mother died of cancer, age of 67 about.
Our mother suffered.
Yeah, and then our father died of cancer a year and a half later.
Hopkins disease, our father
Yeah.
died.
And he remarried for 1 year.
Yeah, he was very married for about a year. He died 21 months later. And the 5 of us got married and had children, and we think that our parents did very well, considering they came from life with nothing. And
They raised 5
they
good
raised
kids.
5 good kids, right?
And all the grandchildren have university degrees.
That's true, and all the grandchildren have done very nicely.
Uncle Leo, why did you decide to become a pharmacist?
Why did I become a pharmacist? Because my brother Al was a pharmacist.
Uncle Leo, why did you become a pharmacist?
As a matter of fact, that's a big story about that. I tried to get a job at Marvin's Dry Goods Store, and Ma went to next door and talked to Mr. Orderworth. I worked for Union Man Shop for a while. I could not get a job. Mother sent Herman to Moore's Drugs to see if he can get a job. Right there. What happened? I really don't know.
There was an apprenticeship program.
Yeah, apprentice, yeah, but it didn't work out. So Ma.
What do you mean it didn't work out? I was hired, period.
Then what happened?
So she said, mother, she said,
So mother said, no, you can't go. Al has to go, and that's all they'll do. So I didn't argue with that at all.
Anyway, I went to look for an apprentice job. I went to every drugstore in town, and Lansbury's drugstore hired me. And then, just as I was leaving, he said, by the way, he says, what religion are you? I said, I'm Jewish. Well, his face got all red. And he said, I'm sorry, but we don't need anybody. And that was the end of that. And I went to other drugstores, and nobody would hire me. Even there was a Jewish drugstore by the name of Green. I went to see him. He says to me, he says, yes, okay. He says, we probably could use you. And then he had a little boy that sold ice cream and sodas in the soda fountain there. He says to me, he says, if you knew as much as he does, I would hire you. I never forgiven him for that. So anyway, finally I went back to Morris's.
You didn't go back. I was the one
You
who
were there first.
Yeah, he hired me.
Whatever happened.
And then mother said, no, you have to go to college. Al has to go to be okay. I never
He hired me. I was working about 70 hours a week. I was getting $6 a week, of which I gave $3 to Ma. And thank God, by the time I was finished, I was making $20 a week. I went to college and struggled for 2 years. I finally graduated, got in the Army, spent 2 years in the Army, got married overseas.
Oh, wait a minute, you should tell them about high school. I'd give you credit for what happened.
High school, well, we'll skip high. I finished high school.
Okay, what difference it makes?
And anyway, and I got married overseas. I came here, worked for a year at Patterson Drugstore. I bought a drugstore, opened it up in 1948. The drugstore is still standing there, and now it's Gordner's Big V Drugstore, which is a big chain with 130 stores. That's
Not
it.
Gordners.
And we own them all, right? For the state. Yeah.
Uncle Louis, why didn't you go into pharmacy?
Uncle Louis didn't go to pharmacy. He was lucky.
I tell
No,
him I
no, he wasn't lucky, he just worked hard, that was his patrol. He worked harder than anybody.
Uncle Louis was a gambler. You know? He was a gambler.
Terrific guy.
What happened?
His mother don't ask.
I was out of the business.
Because like now
What do you want? What is yours and what do you want?
I was always trying.
I'll have some
I was going to school at night, you know, during the
Tell
daytime.
him about, he was a football player, I want you to know. He was a star football player on the tech school. He's the only guy that could tackle anybody.
Now, what happened? It's hard to explain what did happen somehow, somewhere. Let's put it this way. I was always trying something different. I didn't like but I didn't finish. I didn't finish.
Take the boys away, it's okay?
You're the
What time they
father.
are you sleeping here tonight?
You're
The
gonna
boys?
get the video.
You sleeping here tonight?
Yeah.
Just the boys?
No, everybody.
It's very hard to explain out because I was selling auto parts. And when I was selling auto parts, I was all over the country and I was selling in Ontario. And then I had a friend of mine, and he said to me, he had 4 cars, and he said to me, he said, will you buy them 4 cars and ship them to Montreal?
That's your friend Andrew?
And I said, yes. Leo brought me the money. Where we got the money, I don't remember. But Leo brought me the money. And I bought the 4 cars. And I shipped them to Montreal. Got a hold of a guy in Montreal.
Sit next to his name.
And that's how I started in the automobile business. And from then on, I was working in the auto parts and I was also selling cars. Then Mr. Klein came to me and asked me if I would take his son as a partner, which didn't know nothing about it. If I would, he had the lot. And he gave me $10,000. He gave me rent for 6 months. And that's the way how it started. And the way I started after that, went broke, never went. That's right. And he didn't give it to me. He loaned it to me.
Oh, he loaned you the money.
He loaned me.
I thought he gave it to you.
No, I had $5,000 of my own money. And what happened, you nearly went broke 3 times.
It seems to me that your mother,
Your mother didn't
helped a
for
great
me.
deal.
I'm the guy that backed the note for him. You understand? Down here for he bought the drugstore, and also backed the note for him too. You know, he wants to know the truth of the matter. Because I'll tell you why. What happened is that I had a good relationship with the Bank of Commerce.
Wait a minute, you didn't back my note. I had
Sure,
all...
I know you did have no money. I gave your father. I gave you.
Everybody loaned me some money. I didn't go to the bank for money. I didn't.
Yeah, well, I know who loaned you the money.
Savannah gave me $2,000.
Yeah, and
I had about $6,000.
okay, but you paid $17,000.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, come on.
I paid $12,000.
You actually, I wish your mother was here.
I paid $12,000.
I got
how
money.
much I paid.
I
I
know I
didn't go
got
to the bank for any money.
You didn't know because I went to the bank and got the money when you gave it to me.
You gave me $2,000.
Whatever I did was
Savannah gave me $2,000.
The question is, where's the missing 5,000?
You want scotch and
No, right.
What happens anyhow?
and ginger are on the
I
rock.
was on the upgrade.
Rye and
understand?
ginger.
But what happened is that
Jaguars.
I was wheeling. In other words, I went up with 4 used car lots, I went up with 2 dealerships and everything else. I went broke. I was lost $147,000.
When did you go broke?
Didn't go broke.
No, I know you didn't go broke. When were you at? I don't recall.
I remember because I was.
You were in the dealership then?
I was sure I
You
was.
took over the Studebaker.
I had 2 dealerships. I took the Rambler, the Studebaker, and the Packard, and everything. I had 2 dealerships and 4 used car lots, and 100 people working.
Yeah,
I lost
4 used car lots?
4 used car lots. I lost $147,000.
Where did you get $147,000?
A lot. I had it.
We lost that, or
Yeah,
lost
I
it?
lost it.
And we all chipped in and gave you the money,
You
right?
didn't give me nothing.
Why did you lose it? I mean, what's about, you just, you're overdrawn, is that
Wait,
it?
no, don't give him anything
You
to eat.
couldn't
That
sell the cars.
Because I'll tell you what happened. You see, when you take a trade-in,
Yeah.
you
Johnny,
understand?
no.
And the trade-in is worth $2,000,
Yeah.
you understand? And you pay $5,000 for it.
Okay, is there anything else that you
Yeah,
want to
that's
know?
what-
Yeah, Michael,
I think we
why
had-
did you go into the pharmacy business?
Huh?
You fired all your
I
sales?
went into the pharmacy
No,
business
I
many
dropped.
years ago. And my father, when he raised me, he says, you go
Dropped
into
a
the
lot.
pharmacy business. And that's why we now have 300 Big V stores. I'm happy to say I'm a multi-billionaire today, all because of my father. Who I let work for me 20 hours a week at $8 an hour. And my dad has got a small little one-bedroom, but it's enough. And that's how I became a multi-billionaire.
And what about the newspapers you never delivered?
The newspapers, well, I left my Uncle Louis the newspapers every morning.
This is one thing that I promised myself, that I will never let my kids sell newspapers.
And you kept your
And I
promise.
kept my promise.
Well, why'd you promise
But I
that?
had them sell pop and ice cream and stamps and chips.
Well, why not newspapers?
Because newspapers, there wasn't enough money in newspapers in those days. We used to buy it for 2 cents and sell it for 3 cents. And at that
It's a tough way to make a living.
That's on the first day,
kids
when we were over here, the first day I went, we sold news, I was the one that sold 17 newspapers and made 17 cents. 17 cents. And I ran all the way from Willette to Wyandotte, all the way down to Walker Road to sell 17
You know, look what a different time that was, and a different kind of life that kids have today. They don't know about going to the shaykhs and walking with the live chickens. And
I had all my
It's a
kids.
different world.
That's right, I went and I bought my
Ronnie,
chicken
this
with
is
you
a
the
good
other
time to
day at
can the
Farmer's
children.
Jack.
Did your children actually, today,
Screaming
buy
children.
hamburgers in the grocery store?
You can let him go.
Our butcher has kosher chickens.
You're one with the grandfather and the
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. I had all my kids trying to go in the car business. None of them wanted.
Take it easy with it, buddy.
Nobody.
Hey,
Much different than the lives of our children and our grandchildren. But I think the lives of our grandchildren are moving very fast too.
Oh, yeah, Ronnie, got one there?
No,
Got one of my dad and Andrew's.
Ready without him.
We didn't have computers when we were
That's
growing up.
David, that's David. Stay with David.
what is the problem?
Okay. Let me just ask Uncle Herman, why did you go into teaching?
Teaching.
Yes.
I think so, but right
Because I
now we're
was
doing.
fired from my other job.
Yeah, okay.
You
Why
were an
don't you
engineer.
just look at this?
Yeah.
Oh, you gave him a big
engineer,
throw.
Big deal.
Just look like
you were-
Done from one place
Michael,
to
what
another.
happened?
We need a little
Never got
plot.
very far.
A little throw up there on that.
Which one I found you, Herman, the worst of the bunch?
The first one?
The worst of the bunch. Mind you, you were a good guy all the way around. But
Yeah.
as far as helping or selling papers or
Oh, I was
anything like
absolutely
that,
the worst.
You were never.
I was the best bookworm you ever saw in my life.
You were a great guy. You could learn. You could do anything you wanted. But as far as helping the family,
No, I wouldn't have. Absolutely not. You're absolutely right.
You haven't changed the bill.
Know what you want,
No,
okay.
I still haven't got the right formula that Mom used to make bread. She always come up with the triple.
Really?
The triple bread. I still can't make it.
Anymore.
Get yourself an automatic
sorry.
remedy.
he can tell us a lot
Uncle
of
Ed
stories.
was born in Detroit.
In Detroit? You're joking.
Of course.
I thought you were born in Russia like the rest of us.
No. Uncle Ed was born in Detroit. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even born in the hospital. He was born in the bathtub in our 4-family flat. He wanted to come out too fast, and Mother didn't have a chance to get me to that.
Fastest thing you did your whole life.
And do you have any chicken stories?
Was raised in Detroit, and he graduated from Wayne State. Then he got his PhD from Wisconsin. Then he came back and he taught at Wayne State for 2.5 years. He went to Washington, was at American University, assistant professor for a year. Then he went to Israel and he was there for 2.5 years.
I mean, he, why do you keep saying he? What's the I?
I was there.
Well, say me.
Okay.
Okay, so
But
what
I may
happened?
not be around when it comes to further
Okay,
showing.
okay, what happened after 2.5 years in
After
Israel?
he got married in Israel, and he went, then he
Say aye.
went to
Aye.
a private economic consultant there. He came back to the States with his wife, and 9 months later, Elliot was born.
David.
I got a job at the Securities and Exchange Commission as an economist and financial analyst. Was there for 4.5 years.
Where was this at? Where was
went
this
back
at? In Washington?
Yeah, Washington, D.C. The Securities and Exchange Commission, their head office. And then I went to back to the academic world at Lehigh University.
How come you change jobs so much?
Huh?
Yeah, this is Papa Wizard was the one he had the longest.
Yeah, right. Well, because before 40, if you're smart, you change jobs every 2 years, and when you're 40, you get a job for the rest of your life. So I did something like that. Anyhow, at Lehigh, I was an associate professor, and I started to study seminar for financial analysts and brought it to Windsor. Then I figured I needed to get a good Jewish wife, because my first wife had died when Elliot was 5. We lived in Bethlehem for 2 more years, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Left off where I left Lehigh. My university was given a job at Windsor that an offer I couldn't turn down.
Why
I needed to have a good Jewish wife to help raise
Why
me.
did they offer you full professorship? I wonder what they don't generally offer people full professorship.
No, they don't. But I had a lot of good credentials. I had a lot of experience, decent publications, and they were in need of a person like me. Yeah. Well, no, they wanted to offer me an associate, so I bargained it into full professor.
And nobody bothered me.
So I came to full
As
professor.
soon as you come in, you got it.
joined us
You got in a full. As soon as you got to university, you
Yeah, I came
went
to a full professor at Windsor.
But she was gone half the
And I've been there for 25 years and keep running the seminar in Windsor. And about the mid-1970s, I decided I wanted to go to law school. So I became a member of the Michigan Bar. And in my spare time, I act as an arbitrator and expert witness for lawyers, in addition to running the seminar and being a professor. Now they've just retired from the university, so as of September, August 31, I'm retired.
So what do? You got your spare time?
Tell them about the pension you're getting.
Pardon?
Tell them about the pension you're getting.
Yeah, my pension is one third of my salary.
Well, your pension is only 1/3 of your salary?
Well,
That's all?
That's not very good.
No,
No, 1/3 is not very good.
Then pension
after
again.
25 years, it's one.
Yeah, but your pension
Did
is
you
going to
pay-
be in American money, right?
No, Canadian money.
Like they go after.
What do you want? I was paid in Canadian money, so my pension
Well,
was in
I'll
Canadian.
tell you what, they got a machine now that turns all the $10 Canadian bills into American bills. They have a machine like that.
Oh yeah, I have a little money machine.
No, he said there's a new machine out. It turns Canadian dollars into American dollars.
I should only live to see that kind of machine.
No.
And then we were married, and we have at least from between us. I
But
married a woman with 4 kids.
That was very, very noble of you. I may say, and we appreciate what you've done for us. And I think you did a wonderful job.
Sure, that's an unbiased opinion.
Absolutely. Unbiased opinion. Very
And I
good.
proudly say we're 5 children, 5 grown-ups, obviously, now 5 old people now. We stay close all these years, and our kids all know each other, and they're friendly, and
Yeah, very nice. But the only one problem that I have is that as
don't know
as
the
he
names
got
of the
older,
grandchildren.
he not only lost his hair, but he lost everything else with his. He got no hair. Ed, he's got no hair at all. He's a bald-headed man now. At his age, it's unbelievable that at his age he should be bald-headed.
Wait, Bob, when I met him, he was 42.
Well, anyway, he still gets his haircut every 2 years.
No,
And he wears
other
glad
culture.
we're saving a lot of money there. And he shaves probably every second day, probably.
Yeah, vacation does.
Yeah. See what I mean?
And isn't it ironical that I tried when I had a boy's haircut when I was a little girl, and now I can't have a boy's haircut?
Well, you still have boys' haircuts? That was the beginning of a wonderful friendship that we've continued for years and years, and we're very proud of our brother-in-law and our sister, and may we all enjoy good health and lots of love and luck and live to 100. Now, there's no more 120, it's 130 now.
I don't want to be 120 either, I'll tell you.
Andrew, look at.
Hey, tell them about going to show them. We have run into.
I went to Yiddish school. I went to a Yiddish school till I was 10 years old, and when I was going there, my father taught me how to read Hebrew. Every night I used to have to sit and practice with him, and he'd fall asleep while I was reading Hebrew. As sure as a Gordner train, he was sleeping and I was reading. And my mother would yell at him, "Schleimer, du schläfst!"
Well, this trait has been carried on with his children. A good example is tonight. We're supposed to meet at a certain place at 6:30. At 6:40, our driver isn't there yet.
He fell asleep?
We call him. Mind you, I called him twice, but the first time I only rang 3 times. I figured by 3 he must be gone. Then he tells me he's watching television and he falls asleep. Watching television, you fall asleep?
Well, you never do.
I never fall asleep watching television because when
You fall
I
asleep
watch
every
a
day.
television program, it's so important to me that I got one eye open all the time.
People crazy.
And I went to the movies with my son and grandchildren, and my husband said to me I had a hard time staying awake at that movie.
What
And
did
my
you
son
say?
said I was falling
The
asleep.
same thing.
What
He's
did
grabbing
you
the
say?
Lion King.
For the Lion King, I can understand that. This is the Lion King. I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully by the time 1996 rolls around, I'll see it on television.
Anyway, so I was going to Hebrew school. I was going to Yiddish school, and I knew how to read Hebrew. When I was 10 years old, my father said I had to go to the Talmud Torah, which was the Hebrew school.
Hey, give me
And I had to go there by
Hey,
myself, and I was the
Andy,
best
give me
reader in the
five.
whole school because my
Give
father
me
taught me
five.
how to read.
Give me 5.
But my uncle, my
Don't
Mitchell,
take it
was
away,
very
Mom.
angry at my father for taking me out of Hebrew school, out of Shoah. And I remember he came over to us on Sunday morning and he said in Yiddish, "How
Don't
come
put
you so
anything
much
clear.
out of Shoah?"
Don't put anything
My
clear.
mother and father
Give
said,
me
"My
5.
daughter, I'll do what I want." Thank you.
Andrew.
Well, I'll tell you.
Hi, Andrew.
He was there, man.
There you go.
He was, I'll tell you, he
Oh,
was being
he's going to be a year old pretty soon.
November 27th.
Oh,
You
good.
remember the
Yeah,
date?
he wanted me to go to Shoah.
Very good.
This
Because
year,
they
How about
Yiddish.
Hebrew?
Are you on vacation now, by the way, or you?
No, I have to work. Went back to work.
Anyway, that was another
Not too
story.
good?
And wasn't there a guy who used to chase you who wasn't Jewish?
I'm telling her, yes. My friend June was supposed to come with me, but she took me on ballet lessons, and she
You doing
missed half
better?
the
You're
time.
getting along?
I used to walk by myself in the dark. I never let my kids do that today. Yeah, and the little boy used to chase me, call me a dirty Jew, and I used to hope something would happen to him or something did. He got killed by a car.
You have to go to your section before you go to school?
Then nobody chased me
You go
anymore.
to kindergarten and stuff like that?
Who does?
Red,
Israel?
yeah.
No?
he sees a lot of patience. He's,
Well, I guess
give him
that's
5
it,
minutes
huh?
of
Let's
patience
see it on
down there. I
TV.
don't get it.
I'll give it
hurt?
Take it as a discount.
Hey,
None of it is true. I'm telling stories.
Uncle Leo,
He's right. It's all made up for us.
you're an actor, is that correct?
Yeah, he's right.
You're playing Leo Gordner?
Can you get stuff from Michael or
Could you tell us who your real name is and where you are from, sir?
You're right, Michael.
Oh, that's terrible.
Uncle Leo.
Dr. Sadoff, we understand that you are an actress playing Dr. Sadoff. Could you tell us, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. This is my pride and joy.
I see. Okay, this is an actor playing Andrew Gordner who is asleep right now.
Yeah.
And he
Uncle
throws
Louie.
everything on the ground floor.
Final words for the end of the tape. Uncle Louie, Dad, Uncle Louie, go ahead. Any final words for the tape?
It's been a pleasure to be here tonight. We hope we have explained everything to everybody's satisfaction. And hopefully we'll meet again next year, the same time, same place,
And
and
tell
go
the same
over
story.
everything over again.
And correct all the mistakes.
And not having made any mistakes, so there's nothing to correct. Sorry about that.
Nancy Mushi, any last words?
Well, it's fun to recollect. Of course, as we get older, our recollections aren't so hot.
Well, they're much more clearly set out, though.
It's very clear that we were born and we're here, and that's the good thing about it.
It's better than the alternative.
Well, let's put it
And
this
these are
way.
my oldest grandchildren.
And do you guys have anything to say to end this little tape, historical tape?
It's very interesting.
Really?
Good night.
Uncle Ed, how about you?
Nothing more to add. I'm very proud of all the kids we got.
How's business?
And of all of our
He wants to
daughters.
say something.
Who?
Louis say something.
Okay, Uncle Louie, go ahead.
We have
Glad to see it.
very bad this year.
Oh, we had very, unfortunately,
Very
he had a lot of losses this year.
Those little brands.
Yeah.
And hopefully, the coming year will bring lots more knowledge.
Oh, yeah, she's on vacation.
And much happiness.
Did you,
It's a terrible loss we had
did you
this
ready
year.
for it? Not yet.
We have a
And of course,
In different areas.
yes.
You need a big job.
Okay, that's enough, okay.
You didn't get
All right, anybody else? Leo, you want to?
Barbara, I know you're doing a terrific job.
Okay, that's enough already.
That was a
Okay, Ronnie, you want to close out now? You were the beginning of this?
Well, yes, I'd like to thank all our participants and actors for coming, and
Actors is the right
we'll
word.
do chapter 2 next time.
Okay, and don't forget to say, this is a fictional account of the Gordner. None of these people are real. It's all just a movie.
Right.
Okay, we just have one more closing
How about
remark.
a lawyerly disclaimer for any responsibility?
Okay.
Ready for the disclaimer.
This was all made up. None of these people are real. These are all actors playing the parts.
The names have been changed.
All the names are changed. These are all very wealthy people that have come to donate their time to this video. Those people who want this video, it's available. We're making as many copies as people want. They're $39.95 US.
Limited edition. It's a limited.
The limited edition is $59.95. And we just want to say, hello, Nicole. We love you. Sorry you couldn't be there, but Wendy and I and Andrew really miss you a lot. Debbie also wants to say
Companies are after us. They want to-
goodbye.
Yeah, it's on your way home, and that's the main thing. Hopefully, if you have company, the lights on, they know what you're doing, and these pictures come out, because if we all did all this for nothing, you're in trouble.
As per usual.
My final word.
Hey, don't do that, girl.
I think it was 2.3.
I think
Or is it just another repaint? When it's time to paint your car, make it easy, make it right, make it Mako.
As a health reporter, I don't think I should be walking around into some fast food restaurant and eating French fries out there. Every day we try to do a whole variety of stories that are going to help a lot of people out there. When I get involved in a story, people will see that, well, she's doing it, well, maybe I could do it. I'll do my best to show people the right way to eat and exercise. If viewers can see that I'm willing to try it or I'm willing to do it, then maybe they'll think that they could do it too.
Health reporter Denise Dedore, only on 7. An intimate look at a legal superstar. Watch Inside Edition.
On to November, and it's on to John England.
You send me there, I will get the job done. Thank you all very much.
Well, obviously, that's two of the big winners in last week's primary. Howard Wolpe and Spencer Abraham, a Democrat and a Republican, respectively, one aiming for a job in Lansing and the other one trying to get to Washington, D.C. Mr. Ballinger there in Lansing, let me ask you, is Michigan shaping up to be one of the key states to watch this November?
Chuck, the eyes of the nation are on Michigan to see whether a major industrial state will re-elect a conservative Republican governor and whether Michigan can provide the 51st Republican senator in the U.S. Senate in Washington beginning next year.
Well, that's one of the challenges and one of the things we'll watch as political observers. And that's our topic today on Spotlight. We just finished our primary and we're headed, I guess, 13 weeks. We'll be looking at the general election. And today I've put together, I guess, what I would consider 5 of the best political observers in Michigan. In Lansing, Bill Ballinger, he's editor of Inside Michigan Politics. Here in studio, Dr. Gerald Favorman, Senior Counselor of the Favorman Group, a respected Lansing think tank, and Jim Harrington, Channel 7's senior political reporter who has covered every Michigan governor since, what, Soapy Williams, and I think every president since Harry Truman. Goes back a little bit of ways. To my left, Chris Christoph, Lansing Bureau Chief for the Detroit Free Press, and Charlie Kane, Lansing Bureau Chief for the Detroit News. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight on the News.
Channel 7 and the Wellness Plan salute the brightest and best of 1994.